fiscal cliff. Well, joining me now is Chief Deputy Majority Whip Republican Congressman Peter Roskam from Chicago. Congressman, glad to have you back on In the Loop. And, you know, we've watched over the last several weeks the Buffett rule die in Congress. We watched the Ryan budget going nowhere. I know that you've just passed the business cut or the tax cut for small businesses, but people say that that's not going to pass the Senate. So what can get done this calendar year on taxes?
Well, let me take a running start at that, because I think what we've got to recognize is that there's nobody that can defend the status quo of our tax code, and that creates an opportunity where we can all come together. Now, look, we're right up against it at the end of the year with the expiration of the 01 and the 03 tax cuts. We're going to be dealing with about 100 tax extenders. So the House continues to propose, and as you mentioned last week, we passed the small business tax cut, but I think that there's a larger recognition that reforming our tax code is an area where we can come together as a country and drive a competitiveness agenda.
Right.
The House Ways and Means Committee, under the chairmanship of Dave Camp, has done a good job, in my view, over the past 18 months of framing up that debate. So, look, if Senator Reid chooses not to take these things up in the Senate, unfortunately, that's his prerogative. But the House is going to continue to propose.
But where, though, Congressman, where in those 100 or so tax issues that we're talking about, where is there going to be common ground?
Well, I think part of this has to be settled in the election. The country has to make a decision about whether they agree with President Obama's vision of the world, which is to let those tax cuts expire and then walk into the largest tax increase in American history, a $4 trillion tax hike at the end of the year. Or, it looks like Governor Romney is going to be the Republican nominee, take on his vision, which says, don't let those taxes expire and continue to move on. So, or don't allow them to be reimposed. So, look, the House is not going to be an institution that's defined by what the Senate fails to do, and the country is going to have to sort this out. But this will come to fruition just without question at the end of the year.
Congressman, what is going to be the priority, though, for the GOP party, for the GOP lawmakers themselves? Because as you know, the senior leadership in the House is under pressure from the freshman Republicans, right? I mean, they're the ones that were battling against raising the debt ceiling. They want austerity. I mean, what's going to be the priority? Is it going to be keeping taxes low, or is it going to be dealing with the budget deficit?
Well, I think the House can prove and has proved that it can walk and chew gum at the same time. So these goals are not mutually exclusive. Nobody is arguing for austerity. What we're saying is we've got to move now and make decisions now to avoid austerity in the future. So there is a desire to live within our means, and that's where you see the budget that was authored by Paul Ryan and continues to enjoy great success with a House majority and proposing specific things that the country can make up its mind about this fall. And then also make sure that this tax cliff that we're walking into, that we don't walk over a tax cliff. And I think President Obama has chosen a different pathway. It's a pathway that I reject, and talking about the Buffett rule and other things that are just sort of political, you know, just bumper sticker phrases that aren't really serious. Meanwhile, the House is continuing to do its work.
But, Congressman, I do want to address I want to get back, though, to, you know, some of the growing rift within, within the House Republican lawmakers, because, you know, you do have to win over these freshman Republicans. I mean, I think there's 87 of them who have been split in some ways and have been critical of the senior leadership and the way you guys have taken the debate on taxes and the budget. How do you win them over?
Well, I think what you try and do is you drive towards consensus, and the budget is a perfect example of that. There were some members, when they first heard the budget proposals, they said, well, I came here to balance the budget in 1 year, and it's impossible to balance the budget in 1 year. And over a period of time, you give good members good information and give them time, and they're going to come to a good result. So taxes is an area where we are largely unified as a group. We believe in a growth agenda, and you'll continue to see the House moving growth-oriented tax cuts.
Okay, Congressman, thank you. Great to have you.